Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm Mark Bradberry. Why don't you grab a cup and join me this morning? Hey, there's a tendency in these times to ignore God's presence. And sometimes, in fact, to actively deny it. It's pretty easy to do, You get occupied with life. There's kids, there's money, there's work, there's your fears and your worries, there's your possessions, activities, relationships, all of those sorts of things. The days come and the days go. You've got your routine, and it's pretty easy in that routine to sort of pretend God isn't around. And it's only in those moments of conscience that you really sense what is and what always has been true. God is watching. Oh, you know it. Those moments when you make choices that aren't for the good. Yeah, he sees that. Those split seconds in which you intentionally take a selfish turn. Yeah, he sees. Those instants before the knee-jerk reaction in which you respond in anger. Yeah, God observes that. And those 3 a.m. sleepless nights, the moments of conscience in which you're thinking about all the wrongs in your life. Yeah, God's present for that too. We deny it, of course. We kind of pretend it's not there. Most of us just sort of gloss over the responsibility for our wrongful actions. Humanistic psychology would tell us that it's just the weighing of choices, and that it's a primitive emotional state. A trigger set by the pattern of thousands of generations with no fixed or inherited content of its own. It's a subjective dimension, they say, an inner judge, an impartial spectator, prompting you to sort of weigh the communal benefit versus the requisite for internal preservation and self-benefit. That sounds like a really good explanation, doesn't it? The problem is, it's only so much bull. A very old principle, Occam's razor, says that the simplest explanation is usually the best one. In other words, don't make it more complicated than it is. So let's call this situation exactly what it is. The word is conscience. Your own spirit, made in the image of God, discerning right from wrong. Each of us knows sin when we commit it. The writer of Hebrews in the New Testament observed this. He suggested that it's not subjective at all, but it's rather a very clear, very objective reality. He wrote, "For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and the attitudes of the heart. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of him to whom we must give account." Of course, when you do wrong. And when it's pointed out, you feel a twinge of conscience. God speaks through his word, and he speaks through his spirit. To say yes to good and to reject the bad is, of course, healthy and positive. It not only builds you up, but it also serves best the needs of those around you. But to embrace the bad, to disregard the good, one time, twice, 20 times, at some point, the gentle, quiet voice of God disappears behind the noise of our own self-centeredness. At some point, you will have so seriously ignored your conscience that it just simply becomes numb to reality. You've embraced it so much, you've cauterized your own soul to a point where you no longer hear. And that is sad. so very sad. You've made yourself the center of a very, very lonely universe. Now, God respects your decisions. He respects your choices. He allows you to make your own choices. So, sure, go do your own thing. But just remember this. Thinking that you're the center of the universe does not make it a reality. God still sees right into the middle of your burned out, shriveled little heart. And it's to Him you will give account. Enjoy your coffee.